I've been a type 1 diabetic for 10 years. I've normalized my blood sugar with an A1C of 5.0%, and I've helped multiple other type 1s do the same. So here's 10 years of experience that can help you do the same with your own diabetic management, starting off with a split dose of long-acting insulin. So a lot of type 1s use a long-acting dose in the morning once a day, but they don't fully understand it. So one thing that I found can help a lot of type 1s is splitting this long-acting dose. So what do I mean by that? I mean, instead of taking one dose in the morning, you take two, one in the morning, one at night. Now, the first question is why? So long-acting works for about 12 hours. So if this graph shows your insulin levels, and you take long-acting, it's gonna work something like this. And this is when you inject. And here is 12 hours. So the goal of this injection is to cover your baseline hyperglycemia, which is where your body just naturally raises its blood sugar without actually eating anything. So if you're a type 1 diabetic and you fast, you're still going to go high even though you didn't eat anything. And that's just because of your background metabolism breaking down your food, which raises your blood sugar. So this is designed to cover that baseline raise. Now, the problem with this is the best ones only last 12 hours. Now, a lot of them only last 6 and they cut off here. So there's quite a few type 1s that'll actually take 3 doses, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then one at night, just to get a better coverage. And sometimes they even do 4, one in the middle of the night. Now, we're just going to start off with 2 and explain how and why that works. So the problem with this is our endocrinologist will tell us that 1 unit or 1 dose in the morning will last all day and all night, and then you just take it the next morning. The problem is it doesn't last 24 hours. So what I suggest doing, and it's going to be a massive breakthrough for a lot of type 1s, is actually taking another dose at night before you go to bed. In order to do this, you split up what you normally take in the morning. So let's say that you take 20 units in the morning, split that up into 10, and then 10 at night. And then that'll cover for the rest of the night and keep you level overnight. Now, what a lot of type 1s will see if they do this is their blood sugar actually dips down in the morning and then it'll return after eating some glucose. Now, we obviously don't want that to happen, and the reason it's happening is because you're taking too much now and not enough later. So another thing you'll see happen when you do this is you'll go down here, return to normal, and then overnight you start to go up because the insulin is wearing off. Now, this is actually something that I saw in one of my buddies. He came to me with a graph, and overnight he was going low. I asked him if he used basal, which is with your pump, or if he used a long-acting insulin. So he did use a long-acting insulin, but he took it at night instead of at the morning, which is fine. But what I saw happening is overnight he would go low. And I asked how much he was taking and if he was splitting his dose. And the response was, what do you mean splitting your dose? So that told me that no, obviously he's not splitting his dose, which means that he told me he was taking 24 units at night. So he'd dip down and then he'd return to normal, which obviously overnight, that is really, really dangerous and not something that we want to happen. So I told him to try splitting the dose, take 12 units at night, 12 units in the morning, which he did. And then the next day he sent me a screenshot and he was completely level the entire night. It was actually really, really cool to see. Just splitting this dose here can be a huge, huge deal for a lot of people. So let's look at how basal works and compare it to long-acting. All right, so for those of us that don't take a long-acting insulin, we use basal, or what's called basal. And that just means you get an hourly small dose of insulin from your pump. Now, this works very similarly to long-acting, and this is going to be graphing